Whatever happened to normal cars, your usual sedans, estates, hatchbacks and SUVs? It appears like there are no rules anymore. You can have a coupe that's actually a four-door, you can have a hatchback that's actually an SUV, and an SUV can in fact be a sports car. BMW has a track record of breaking rules. After all, it's the brand that created the X6, a very strange conglomerate of 4x4 and sports coupe. Now, that's a car that I didn't think was going to sell well at all, but 250,000 global sales later, it clearly has been a success story. Which begs the question whether this car, the all-new X4, will equal that success. As the nameplate suggests, the X4 is a smaller version of the X6, or to be more accurate, it's a four-door coupe version of the X3 SUV, very much like the X6 is based on the X5. So, the X4 uses the underpinnings of the X3 but marries them to a more streamlined, more eye-catching shape. The X6 and the new X4 both recognize that most buyers of premium SUVs have no intention of venturing off the beaten track. The X4 doesn't even pretend to be an off-roader, even though the slightly raised ground clearance suggests that it could probably tackle some mild off-road terrain. Instead, it's very much a sporty machine. It has that very distinctive arched roofline, almost coupe-like, these big wheels, low-profile rubber. The whole emphasis of this car very much on dynamics, and of course it does look like a junior X6. The front end is adorned with big, hungry air intakes, while the stare of the slender headlights on either side of the trademark kidney grills adds malevolence to the BMW's facial features. In profile, the emphasized contours of the widened wheel arches, the pronounced shoulder line and the scalloped flanks all contribute to the X4's visual muscle. At the rear, L-shaped LED taillight clusters, a slanted tailgate and a deep apron continue the dynamic theme. Anybody familiar with BMW's interiors will feel instantly at home in the X4's cabin. It has that very same driver-focused approach to ergonomics, a sense of quality and luxury, and of course in this instance also quite spacious, front and rear despite that roofline, and the seats are split 40-20-40, which gives you quite a versatile array of load versus seating options. In deference to its quasi-sports coupe identity, the X4 seats its front occupants 20mm lower than in an X3. The boot is a generous 500 litres with all seating positions available. Fold the rear seats flat and the cargo capacity increases to a more than respectable 1400 litres. Access is via a wide-opening motorised tailgate. The X4 range offers a choice of 2 turbo diesel and 3 turbo petrol engines ranging in output from 135 kilowatt to 225 kilowatt. This is the range-topping xDrive 35i M Sport, which means it has a 3-litre turbocharged petrol engine with an output of 225 kilowatt linked to a torque peak of 400 newton meters. Standard across the entire X4 range is an 8-speed Steptronic gearbox. This unit has the sport shift option of that, which means it has quicker shifts and also shift paddles, and of course the xDrive nomenclature means that all-wheel drive is also standard. xDrive seamlessly transfers power between the front and rear axles as conditions demand. It features performance control which balances the power delivery between the left and right rear wheels to optimize grip and steering response. Compared to the X3, the suspension is tauter, expressing the X4's more dynamic intentions, and yet ground clearance still exceeds 200mm. But let's face it, the X4 is a highly unlikely candidate for real off-road driving. In fact, the emphasis of this vehicle, as we've said before, very much on the dynamic side of things, and that's especially true of this X35i. BMW claims a 0 to 100 time of 5.5 seconds, a top speed of 247 kilometers an hour. However, you have to say that this vehicle will probably handle gravel fairly well, but where it's really at its best is in the twisty parts of a mountain pass. Remember, this is a 1.8-ton vehicle measuring 4.7 meters long and 1.9 meters wide, and yet the dynamic experience is unexpectedly agile and road car-like. If anything, the elevated ride tends to understate actual progress so that it's easy to underestimate just how much momentum you're carrying into a corner. To its credit, the X4 retains its poise even then, but generates the kind of G-forces you'd expect of a sports car. While the X6, which of course is the original sports activity coupe, is the kind of vehicle that polarizes opinion, this smaller, wieldier X4 is likely to be more popular, not only because it is slightly more affordable, but also because it is a lot more fun to drive. It brings a lot more of the sportiness to the 4, and I think that it is going to do at least as well as its larger sibling. With plenty of power and torque, a quick-shift gearbox and all-wheel drive, the X4 is fast. It's also unexpectedly wieldy, responsive and engaging to drive. Add SUV practicality and individual styling, and the new X4 represents an intriguing package, but it's not quite as versatile as the X3 it's based on.